Hey guys, my name is Lily and today I want to show you my new backpack for archery. Stay tuned. Okay, so finally I got a new backpack for doing archery, and I wanted something slimmer because my old backpack was a little bit bigger and bulky and it had side pockets where I constantly was bumping into with my elbows. So I got myself a really slim and small backpack. Take a look. So this is my new setup, and this is the Tasmanian Tiger Essential 15 liters. Now let's take a closer look. Alright, so this is the Tasmanian Tiger 15 liters in olive. It's a really nice color and it fits this forest that I very often do practice my archery skills. And here at the front you can see some molly webbing all over the front of the backpack and also at the side. It does not have any side pockets, but it has two straps that go over the entire bag here. And then here you have a small compartment, and this is where I have my string, and with the string I'm stringing the bow. So yeah, this always gets entangled with the other gear in my backpack, and that's why I've decided to put it like into the smaller compartment. So now it has a place of its own and it does not get in the way anymore. It's tucked away nicely, and this way I never forget my bowstringer. So because it's always in here. Yeah, and also this is the backside. It's a very plain backside. You have a simple padding and some really good shoulder straps. So yeah, pretty basic, but actually I don't need more for doing archery. And yeah, in the front I have my patch. Here's the logo, which says Tasmanian Tiger. And this is how you can open up the backpack. Now I always have my car keys at a carabiner, because I want to be able to quickly grab my keys and I don't want to search around at the bottom somewhere. So yeah, this is really practical, and that's why I have it on this carabiner. And also I have attached a signal whistle. So sometimes, you know, I'm going shooting somewhere where there's not a lot of people, and in case I break my leg, I definitely want to be able to signal for help. And this is why I have the signal whistle in here. Then also at the back side you have a bladder compartment, and this is where I store my bow checker. This is just a standard one. And the brace height of my bow, by the way, I always have at about 20.5 centimeters. So that's here. And that is about 8 inches. So yeah, this is my brace height checker. Every now and then I check the brace height to make sure that it doesn't change. Yeah, then I always have some water with me, and this is my wallet. Next on I have my APO-1 hunter knife. This is my self-designed hunting knife, APO-1 Hunter. And yeah, it's rather small, smaller than my survival knife. And this is why I've chosen it for my backpack here, because yeah, I want to save weight, as much weight as possible. And that's why I'm not carrying my big knife. Yeah, then what I have here is a really good first aid kit. And that's something that you really want. You can hurt yourself when doing archery. You can shoot others by accident, or you can get shot. The arrows can break while shooting, hitting your face or your arm. Then also once I saw an accident where the screw broke inside of the bow, and then one guy got the limb on his head and he was bleeding a lot. So yeah, a lot of things can happen with archery, especially with accidents or if your equipment fails. So it's really important that you have a good first aid kit with you. And this is why I've chosen a really big one, so I have enough of materials at hand to do some first aid. So here I just have standard gauzes, and I even have tampons in case that I got a surprise, you know. Yeah, some plastic gloves, wet wipes, emergency blanket, which can double as survival shelter, scissors. Then in the left compartment I have band-aids, all kinds of band-aids, and I always make sure that it's up to date, so I'm writing the expiry date on each band-aid. Then I have some pliers if you have to get some splinters out of your skin. This is if you hurt your arm. It's a triangular like bandage, and some tape and some dental floss. I never go out without one, so I really want to have the opportunity to clean my teeth. In an emergency, this could also double as fishing line. So yeah guys, this is my first aid kit. It's a standard one, but it's also big enough that I can treat most of the injuries. Okay, next here I got a net, because sometimes I come across like things that I want to collect in the forest, nuts or hazelnuts or mushrooms. So I want to be able to have some kind of bag where I can carry stuff that I find. This one especially is made from cellulose fiber, so it's without plastic, which is great. Okay, next I have a repair kit that I want to show you in detail. Okay, so in here I have a small collection of things that I sometimes need when there's something to repair, or you know, sometimes you might lose a knock. That happens. So I have a couple of extra knocks in here. That's always great to have. Then I have a small X-Acto knife. This is some rail loop that I usually use for when doing crossbow shooting. Then I have some bowstring wax in here. This happens to be beeswax, so let's quickly use it on my string. So every now and then you want to wax your bowstring, and this is important so it's protected against the elements like rain and snow, and also it prolongs the life of the bowstring. Okay, next I have a hex key set, and yeah, here I have both metric and also inch type of hex keys. That's a really great set, and I always have it with me. This here is a screw that goes into the front of the bow, so here you can add for example a wristband. Yeah, then I have a compass in case that I get lost and I need to find my bearings. Then I have a couple of knock points and a plier which can set knock points, and I have tightened it with some rubber bands because otherwise it will rip open my pouch here. So the corners here are really sharp, and this is why I want to have the pliers closed for safety. Then here I got extra bowstring in case that the bowstring rips off. I've got bowstrings with the length of 60, 61 and 62. So in this case I can also give it to somebody else if they have a problem. Yeah, then I have a little bit of hot glue. Sometimes I use that in emergency situations to glue in some inserts into the arrow. I have this string here. This was something that I used together with a peep sight on my bow, but right now I'm not using it anymore. And then I have shrink tube. Right now on the arrow I have a electrical tape because I did not have any wide shrink tube, but this is something that you can use as an alternative to electric tape. And yeah, it's working good, and I always have a couple of extra in my bag. And of course a lighter, you know, if I have to make a fire for some kind of reason, I can do so. Okay, then next I have a Leatherman with me. This is important if you have to get out some inserts from a log, for example. So these are some strong pliers, and I never go out without a Leatherman. This happens to be a very light version. This is the Leatherman Rebar, and I really like it. It's a little bit more light than the Leatherman Wave that I had before. So really good tool, and I love it. And last but not least, I want to show you my notebook pouch. And this is really like super practical. So here I have my notebook, and I can write down my scores that I'm achieving, and also sometimes I'm meeting other archers that want to give me their information. So it's really great to have something to write on. And I have different kinds of pencils, ballpoint pen and a Sharpie. And also I have attached this big carabiner, because when I'm shooting and when I want to write down my scores, I can hook this onto my belt, so I don't have to take off the backpack every time I want to write something down. And now I just can conveniently hook it into my belt and can quickly grab my notebook if I want to write down my scores, and that's great. That's really awesome. Yeah guys, so this is my bow and arrow kit. It's not large, so there are not a lot of things that you need for archery, but I got the essentials, and I really love my new backpack. It's awesome, and it's a joy to wear. And now I want to show you how I'm wearing this on my back without disturbing my quiver. Yeah guys, now I want to show you how I mount the backpack on my back. So as you guys noticed, I'm wearing a back quiver, and I love it. I love to have my arrows here right beside my head. I don't like to have a quiver on the hip. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. And usually what I do is I take out the arrows like this. Then I take my backpack and I go over the quiver so it sticks out at the side. And then I grab the second strap and put it over my shoulder. Then I take my arrows, put them back into the quiver. Okay? And this is how I shoot my bow. And now the quiver is not, you know, like rattling around anymore. It's really firm on my back. And this way I like it even more than having no backpack with me. So this way it's super firm, it doesn't move around, and I think it's awesome. Also, I do not have any problems in putting back my arrows into the quiver. So because it's coming out at the side, it's much easier to see the hole and to stick in all of the arrows. Yeah, so this is my setup. The backpack is pretty slim, so the size is still small enough so that I can move around without, you know, having too much weight or too much bulky mass on my back. And I really like it this way. I think it's awesome. It's a great backpack. And now that I have all of the gear inside, I still have enough of space for my finger protection, for my arm guard. This is also self-made. And I still have space for food, for sandwiches, and for my camera, which is right there. And then usually I take my tripod and I fasten it to the two straps here. And this is how I can carry my tripod without it getting in the way, which is great. So yeah, pretty awesome backpack. I really like it. I think it looks great. Now there's one more piece of equipment that I have with me, and that is my laser rangefinder. It's probably the most expensive equipment that I have. It's even more expensive than the bow and arrows together. So that's a pretty important gear, which I always want to have with me. And I have it in my small Swiss bag here. And it's just perfect for my laser rangefinder. And you can close the bag like this. It's super silent and doesn't make a lot of sound like, for example, Velcro does. Alright guys, so this is it. I really want to thank you for watching, and if you want to see more videos of me doing archery, then make sure that you are subscribing to my channel. Stay tuned till next time.